Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Untitled Reviews. Now, 60% keyboards look to be all the rage these days, especially in specialist circles, but they are pretty much on the verge of the mainstream, and Razer's Huntsman Mini is Team Green's entry into the world of the smaller keyboard. At $129.99, it does seem like a costly option to save some space, especially when full-size and 10-keyless keyboards from the likes of Asus, Logitech and others exist at this price point with more features. But maybe Razer are just out to prove me wrong. And inside the box you get, well, the Huntsman Mini itself, the USB-C to A braided cable to plug it in, and some associated documentation. Okay, so when it comes to design, Razer's Huntsman Mini is rather rock solid despite its small stature. That's the kind of first real thing to note about this. With its metal top plate, there's practically no deck flex whatsoever. I suppose that even if you tried to smash this thing with the world's largest hammer or cut it with the world's sharpest knife, it would probably still remain intact. You could argue, yeah, that's almost expected given Razer's reputation, but it is still nice to have nonetheless. And those, speaking of reputation, those classic Razer looks haven't been lost by its smaller size. There's still those classic aggressive Razer lines that keyboards such as the Black Widow, the Ornata, and even the bigger Huntsman have become synonymous for over the years. And continuing in the vein of its premium feel, the Huntsman Mini features PBT double-shot moulded caps, which are kind of nicer feeling and more premium and, well, really more expensive than the traditional ABS plastic that's used on a lot of keyboards these days. Combined with that, a thoroughly modern typeface that's pleasant to look at, and Razer are really onto a winner. It's really the little things, if you'll excuse the pun, with the Huntsman Mini that make it a great keyboard, really, in terms of design, such as a full-size spacebar. And it may seem a small thing, really, in the grand scheme of things, but it does make quite a nice change compared to Philco's Magist Touch Mini La that otherwise makes use of a smaller spacebar that's flanked by two function keys that you control with the dip switches on the other side of the keyboard. Being a 60% keyboard, it does obviously miss out on a numpad and a lack of arrow keys, which really are some quite big misses if you're used to a full-size keyboard. Now, outside of the keyboard itself, there are some pretty nice features, such as this rather pleasant USB-C to A cable, which makes sure that the Huntsman Mini is held in properly, and the fact it's braided is also rather nice. Makes a nice change. Again, you could argue it's expected at a price point, but at such a high price, the features that the Huntsman Mini has are pretty good. As with any keyboard, the most important question really is, how does the Huntsman Mini perform in day-to-day use? Well, when it comes to switches, it makes use of Razer's new optical switches that are a new addition for this particular revision of their 60% board. With their 45 cm actuation force, they are lighter than I'd like, with a force similar to that of Cherry MX Reds, but they are perfect for gamers. And given that they're also tactile with an audible click, something heavy maybe to back up that tactility would have been nice. And I suppose from a personal perspective, the fact they're optical means they lack a little bit of substance in the key press compared to their true mechanical counterparts. Something what I'd like to call kind of empty key presses. They're kind of a mecha membrane kind of feel, if you like, but more on the mechanical side given their audible click. With that audible click and the kind of light force, they are a nice combo, but I suppose you could say that they're quite noisy if you're in a loud office, so, expect complaints. The fact their light works well for gaming, though, and the fact they operate at the speed of light may just make all the difference in those high-intensity situations, be it on Counter-Strike or Valorant or whatever game you happen to be playing at the time. In terms of software integration, the Huntsman Mini, like pretty much all of Razer's product library these days, is married to Synapse 3, and it can be said that this little guy has a lot of tricks up his sleeves, I suppose. The lighting's crisp and sharp, as you can see from it rolling around. And I suppose the fact it's smaller means that it concentrates all the power into a smaller space. The usual features with Synapse are present with the Huntsman Mini, such as, Hyper Shift, which gives you God knows how many different load of colour combinations, and the 16.8 million colour backlighting can be customised until your heart's content. And all that can really be seen to make the Huntsman Mini exceed its price point. So, in conclusion then, should you buy Razer's Huntsman Mini? Well, in terms of 60% keyboards that are on the market, Razer are offering one of the more complete packages, with those top features that gamers yearn for in keyboards, be it 60% or full size, with some decent switches, good lighting, and some rather sturdy build quality. And I suppose it could be said that the Huntsman Mini is a rather good buy from that perspective. However, to me, switch feeling is what matters here, especially for a keyboard, and those opticals don't feel as good or as sturdy as the traditional mechanicals. And the competition from Philco and arguably the kings of small keyboards, Ducky, utilise Cherry MXs that aren't optical. your more traditional sturdy mechanicals. But, you know, I suppose as a last word, if you're a fan of Razer and do want a 60% keyboard, then the Huntsman Mini is absolutely perfect. And I suppose all that really remains to be said is that if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Links are down below to that. To follow us on Instagram and Twitter, links should be appearing to that in the video right about now. And to like the blog as well, link is down in the description for that too. And also, if you like any of the kit that we feature in these videos, and across the channel, of course, there'll be an Amazon link down in the description of those, so where you can pick it all up. So, all I've really got left to say is thank you very much for watching.